every time the change is happening, it is giving an error message, a message, just a message. So what you need to understand how this is operating, it is actually operating on the basis that it is a change event, and there you have put the command. Similarly, what I have done here, let me just delete this because this is not the purpose anyway. The purpose is that this form has this option. Let me just show you. This form had this subject choice, and I have put a command here, that subject choice change, and then these are the item count and select count that I've just put in short form, item CNT, cell CNT. So I'm going with each subject and checking that how many items are selected. So if item count equal to 0 to list count gives you how many objects are there. And why I have done -1? Because that's where, if there are 10 subjects, you need to check it 0 to 9, which will anyway mean 10. If there are 20 options in the list box, you will select 0 to 19 because it is starting with 0, and that's why 19 is sufficient. And then I'm checking every time if selected item count. So any item is selected, then selected count is selected count plus 1. So if 1 is selected, this selected count will take value 1. If there are 3 selected, it will take selected with count 3. The moment selected count is more than 3, this gives you error message that you can only select up to 3 subjects, and then it goes through the whole list and actually puts everything as false. And that's why the moment you select more than 3, everything becomes blank out. And it also sets the focus. What it does, it ensures that you return to the list object. Let me show it to you. So you come here, right? You select 1, 2, till now the select count is 2 only. If I go there and show it to you, it will be select count 2. 3, it's okay. The moment it is more than 3, it has given error message, it has brought back, and look at the cursor is here only, it has not got anywhere because it has set the focus back to this particular object. Now that's how I'm doing. In fact, how there are some more things is happening out here. In fact, if you want to take a look at how things are happening, you can take a list of this, all these things that you are learning in this particular video. So how I allowed multi-select, how I ensured that selection without control key can happen, checkbox kind of look you have understood, at max 3 subject. Now let me show you that how you ensure that without selection you cannot move ahead. And also some pretty cool thing is happening with the message box here. Let me show you how the message box is actually doing very nicely here. So for example, you go here, select some department, select neutral, and take a look at the moment you submit, it's giving you a very nice message box. So here everything is, if you look at the new lines, so that you can read out fairly quickly that what you have filled in. I'll explain you how it is happening and how it is asking yes or no, and then we are proceeding there. So these two also you are going to learn. So let me show you that how I am ensuring that without submission you can't move ahead. So moment you go ahead, it is asking you to select some subject. So let me show you how this particular part is operating in this particular Excel. So what I have done here, in fact, if you go and take a look at the command here, the moment you click in, it is checking that how many subjects you have selected, and the moment your select count is 0, it is saying please select some subject. So that's where it is ensuring that you have to select at least 1 subject and at max 3 subject. And then how this message box is showing you new stuff in new lines, because I have used VB new line. That's what separates everything into new line, and that's why you get a very nicely created message box. One more thing you need to understand, till now I was just showing you message box, but in fact you can take output of message box to proceed also. So what I've done this time, if you look at message box is here, and I'm taking this into choice. This is actually selecting, storing what you have selected. and I have put VB yes no, and that's why you get yes or no. And this is actually a prompt. That's what comes on the top. When you run it, you look at this is how it comes on the top. So let's say, let me just fill in something, you know. See, this is, do you want to proceed? This is the prompt, and this is how very nicely it is coming out, and how it is storing subject. Let me show you this, and also how it is coming out here. So what is happening out here, that every time when you're selecting, actually I've created a array for subject. I have put it 3 because I know only 3 subjects can be selected, and I'm putting it subject 0, subject 1 every time. So if you look at subject 0 will select this, subject 1 will select next selection. Whenever it is selected, that's what it is they look at. If selected at our item count, means if it is selected, then store this subject, and it can only select up to 3 because more than that you do not allow people to select anyway. And this choice, either you are putting yes or no, goes into choice, and that's what you are taking here. And if you're saying message choice equal to VB no, exit sub, otherwise thanks for your submission. I'm going to add here in the next part that how you can store this data into Access database, but for the time being, I guess you understood how this form is operating and how it is coming. One more, though it's not a big thing, but just to let you know, because some of you are interested in how this image is coming out here. It's actually, if you go in the page layout, there is a background that you can set. I have selected the background as an image, and that's why this image has got replicated everywhere as tile. But this gives a very nice, very different look to this Excel, and that's why it's pretty okay. So in the next part, I'm going to explain you that how this data from this form you can directly store into Access database. However, just understand, if you want, you can store this in Excel anyway, but that anyway I have explained you the moment I have covered you how you browse through the coupon, because there I have explained you how do you go to different workbook and store it. So I'm going to focus this time in the next part that how you can store this data into an Access database.